English ASMR. This is a place to rest and to learn, and to gently drift into a world of English through stories and gentle discovery. You might be listening while doing something else, or you may be relaxing your mind while you drift off to sleep with English. Tonight, we'll travel together through the winding lanes and emotional waves of culture shock. It's that strange and revealing moment when everything feels both exciting and unsettling. You may have experienced culture shock in the past, and it can happen to anyone. Even if the country you are coming to speaks the same language as you, or if you have been there before. I have experienced it myself after being away from my home country for many years. I also know what it's like to live in a country that speaks different languages and follow different cultural norms. We'll explore some English idioms that perfectly describe those feelings. We'll immerse ourselves in the rhythms of life in Melbourne, Australia, and you'll learn to use expressions that help you make sense of new places, new people, and a new you. So please lie back, take a slow breath in, hold it, and then breathe out. Take a slow, deep breath in, hold it, and now breathe out. Let your thoughts float, let the worries of your day fade away. You are safe here, you are relaxing, and you are learning. So let's set the scene. Imagine you have left your hometown and you are arriving in Melbourne, Australia. The plane has just landed. The engines quieten and you collect your bags from the overhead luggage. You're walking through the arrival hall at the airport with passport in hand, excited for a new journey. A staff member greets you with "G'day." It seems like a greeting and they are smiling. They ask you some questions and you struggle with the accent, but you hand over your passport. You smile politely and make your way through. Eventually you step outside. A breeze carries a new scent and the air is crisp. It feels different. You're in Melbourne, a city of culture, colour and contrast, a place where European architecture meets modern indie cafes, Asian restaurants and a blending of cultures from around the world, where street art competes with historic stone, where every corner feels like a cultural crossroad. You hear trams rattle softly down the street, and cars cross the tram tracks. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. You smile because you like the sound. Music drifts out of a store and someone jogs past you in their sportswear. It's colder than you are used to, but they don't seem to mind. A cyclist rings their bell. The streets are busy, but people seem relaxed. They are talking. It's fast, but people seem friendly. Someone passes you and smiles. "G'day mate, how's it going?" It's not a phrase you've heard before. It doesn't really mean "how are you going?" Not really. It means hello. It means hi. It means I see you. But in that moment you freeze. You smile, unsure of how to respond, and it hits you. You're not just in a new place. There's a different culture here, and a new rhythm. You feel like a fish out of water. And that's our first idiom, fish out of water. That's when someone feels uncomfortable or out of place, like a fish would feel if it were out of the water. You feel nervous and a tightening in your chest. Your cheeks feel hot, but then you remember the old saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So you relax your shoulders and you smile back and copy their tone. How's it going? Your first few days of this adventure are a blur. Everything is somewhat familiar, but just different enough to throw you off. You hear about the great coffee in Melbourne and you decide to get one. So you walk into a cafe and say, "Can I please get a coffee?" The barista grins and lists off coffee types that you have never heard of. You pause because you have no idea what they mean, but you decide to bite the bullet, another idiom, and point to one of the pictures. What's this one? The barista explains and you nod. You order that one. It tastes incredible. That awkward question helped to break the ice. You talk about the weather and they ask you about your travels and your favorite cafes. It's a small moment but a big step. Now let's pause here and explore. Bite the bullet. That means to do something difficult or uncomfortable that you have been avoiding. You don't want to do something, but you decide to bite the bullet and to do it anyway. Break the ice. This means to start a conversation in a friendly and casual way. When you meet someone for the first time, you break the ice by saying hello and asking a question. Softly now, please repeat them in your mind. Bite the bullet. Break the ice. You're doing well. It is your first day and you are surviving so far. As the days go by, you have more moments of culture shock. You get out and about, exploring the city. You're getting on trams and getting off trams, exploring on the train and on the buses, and sometimes you get off at the wrong stop. You ask someone for directions. You don't really understand everything they said, but body language has helped. You say, "Thank you." They smile and reply with, "No worries." You are getting used to that phrase, "no worries." It doesn't mean everything is okay. Sometimes it just means you're welcome. Sometimes it means relax. It's not about the words, it's about the feeling. Things are going well and you are enjoying your time in a new place. But then one day, things go pear-shaped. You lose your travel card and you get soaked in unexpected rain. And then your phone battery dies. You want to scream, but instead you laugh. In Australia, you are learning to go with the flow, to figure things out. You decide to take a break, to find a cafe and to dry off. There is a place to charge your phone. You message a friend back home to tell them about your day, that you are learning and that you will adapt. Let's look at these two expressions, to go with the flow. That means to accept things as they happen. And things go pear-shaped. Things don't go as planned. Things go pear-shaped. Go with the flow. You overhear a new slang every day. Two people on the bus are talking about one of their friends and they say, "Oh, he's a bit of a bogan." You have no idea what bogan means, so you search it up online. Okay, you learned a new word. Another puzzle piece clicks into place and you can understand the conversation a little bit more. You realize that you have been thrown in the deep end. You didn't get a gentle introduction to Australia. You just landed, and you had to figure out everything on your own and to do it fast. It is sink or swim to survive, but now you're getting the hang of it. You start to understand the place and the pace of conversations. You laugh at the jokes even if you don't understand everything, but you start to learn and use new vocabulary in your day-to-day conversations. You even throw in your first arvo instead of afternoon, and order smashed avo instead of smashed avocado. Let's review. Thrown in at the deep end. That means to be put in a difficult situation without any preparation. To get the hang of it. That means to begin to understand how to do something. I'm getting the hang of it. Let's softly say, thrown in the deep end. Get the hang of it. By week 2, you're starting to find your feet. You explore off the beaten track, going into laneways, weekend markets, and beachside suburbs. You're travelling on a shoestring, using student discounts and attending free events. You meet others like you, students, travellers, artists, and dreamers. You enjoy talking with them about all the different culture shocks that you have experienced. You feel like you're able to hit the ground running. You still stick out like a sore thumb sometimes, especially when you pronounce Melbourne in a different way than the locals. But slowly, surely you're starting to blend in. Let's have a look at these. Off the beaten track. Travelling on a shoestring. Hit the ground running. Stick out like a sore thumb. Blend in. Off the beaten track means to go to places that are not big popular tourist spots. It's a track that not many people go. Off the beaten track. Travelling on a shoestring means to travel with little money. You're not spending a lot when you're travelling. To hit the ground running. That means to start something with energy and confidence. So you prepared very well for something. That means you can hit the ground running because you have that experience. To stick out like a sore thumb. That means to be very noticeable or to be out of place. When something sticks out like a sore thumb, it is easy to recognize. To blend in means to become similar to the surroundings. You are blending in, mixing in with those people and things around you. Off the beaten track. Travelling on a shoestring. Hit the ground running. Stick out like a sore thumb. Blend in. These are no longer just strange phrases, they are now a part of your vocabulary, and you can start to use them in your conversations. Think back to your first day where you couldn't even order a coffee. You didn't know how the bus, the train, or the tram system worked. You felt like a fish out of water. And now you can explain to your friends about Melbourne coffee. You can joke about the weather. And now a bit of rain won't ruin your day. You know the suburbs. You understand the slang. You know the shortcuts. And when people thank you for helping them, you reply with a smile and say, "No worries." You've faced some moments of discomfort and you've asked questions. You've laughed. you've adapted and you've rolled with the punches. That's our final idiom, to roll with the punches. That means to adapt to difficult circumstances without getting upset. Let's echo everything that we've learned. Fish out of water. Fish out of water. When in Rome. When in Rome. Bite the bullet. Bite the bullet. Break the ice. Break the ice. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Things go pear-shaped. Things go pear-shaped. Thrown in the deep end. Thrown in the deep end. Get the hang of it. Get the hang of it. And you might have heard some other idioms or phrases off the beaten track. Travelling on a shoestring. Hit the ground running. Stick out like a sore thumb. Blend in and to roll with the punches. So breathe in, breathe out. Let the English enter your mind, because tonight you have learned, and now these idioms are yours. You didn't open a book and study idioms tonight. You heard them and you felt them and absorbed them into your mind. They will enter your memory. And this is what learning language is. It's not just grammar, but immersion, experience, and growth. It's not just the rules, but the rhythm. And culture shock is not just a challenge, it's a doorway. And you stepped through, you made it. If this journey has helped you, please subscribe to Whisper English ASMR. You can come back anytime to rest, to reflect, and to keep learning. You can even write requests for upcoming topics in the chat. So for now, please close your eyes, sink deeper into the sound of my voice, and remember that the best way to learn English is to listen and to learn and to practice again and again. For now, good night and sweet dreams.